Wednesday, September 10th. This is week 3 of the NCAA football season, week 2 of the NFL season. This is the Best Picks in DMV podcast. I'm the host, Gabriel Priest. Follow my Instagram. It's Best Picks in DMV. I also have a Facebook with the same name. And on the Instagram, that's where all my plays go official. Right now, I have a 10-11 record in NCAA football, which needs to improve. 2-1 record in NFL, and also follow you can message me on my email at bestpicksindmv@yahoo.com. With that said, let me get to my co-host, TJ Virgil. He's with the 420 Friendly Podcast.
Yo, what up, world? What up, world?
Meant to say also with the 420 Friendly Podcast.
Yeah, y'all know what it is. TJ in the building. 1/2, 1/3, however you want to cut it, slice the pie up of the 420 Friendly Podcast. Yeah, we're gonna bring that back real soon, y'all. We real soon with that. Hope y'all having a good night. Y'all know what it is, man. Best Picks in the DMV podcast. That's what we here for right now, though. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Best handicapping podcast in the DMV. Now, we're also here with my producer and my other co-host, Tyrone Virgil. He's also with the Audio Alchemy podcast. He's also the host of the 420 Friendly Podcast and the creator of VMN, which we're currently on, Virgil Media Network. Go ahead, Ty.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to another great episode that we about to have. You know, we're going to sit here, talk about some picks. I got to do my shameless plugs.
Let's get
Virgil
it.
Media Network, Virgil Photography, 360 Photo Booth. It's live streaming, getting to the AAU games now. Let's try to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Catch me on TikTok, VMN. I'm on there heavy, so.
Not heavy.
I got a slight addiction for it now. Like
This man is
We're definitely also going to get on TikTok
like,
with the Best Picks in DMV as well.
Yes,
I also forgot to mention that. That's to come probably next week. So go ahead and follow that once it gets going, which is going to be next week as well. But go ahead, finish that.
Hopefully, I just got to get through the preliminaries with TikTok. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? So,
Well, that's good. We're
But-
definitely going to get through those.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But
definitely.
today, the agenda for like every other week is first we're going to review how we did last week for our picks. Then we're going to dive into the 4 games we have for this weekend. And then we're going to give out the plays, of course, the best part of the show.
Yes, that's
So
everybody's favorite.
Yes, it should be. Once again, we hand out our 2 main locks, both in NCAA football and in NFL, for just the weekend plays, Saturday or Sunday, and possibly Monday games as well. We leave the Thursday and Friday games alone. In October, the Wednesday and Tuesday games are going to come in college football too. But you can still get my picks if you follow me on Instagram. So don't forget that. That's where all the official plays come. So for those weekday games we don't mention here, definitely check me out on Instagram because I'm still going to give those out as well. Before I forget, definitely follow, like, and subscribe to this video on YouTube. Subscribe to both my social media accounts. Also, keep in mind, I send my graphics to Ty on Monday, so my lines are based off what they were Monday. So the plays we give out are from lines Monday, but you can still hit them, even though they might differ a bit. But if you have any questions, if you should still hit them or maybe how you should play them now the line's different, like I said, feel free to message me or DM me. I do use ESPN Bet for my lines. Let me just put that out there in all my markets. So if you're wondering where they came from, that's where it is. And once again, my plays are not official unless they come out on Instagram. So you have to follow that. On Instagram, I only give out straight point spread plays. The goal, like every year, is to go over 56.5%, both in college football and in NFL. Personally, I feel like I'm going to be going over 60% in both of those, but we'll see what happens. So
Let's get it.
With that said, we're going to get right into the review.
Okay.
Started off with Illinois at Duke. We had Duke plus 3.5 in that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Illinois ruined the perfect weekend in game 1. We had Duke. I still like the way Duke looked. The score, even though it was lopsided, didn't really tell how much of that game went.
I feel like that was the tale of two halves. The first half,
Yeah.
Duke kind of came out, and they were solid in the first half. But
They
the second
were.
half, it was like,
Exactly.
who are you?
Midway through the third quarter, Illinois started kind of pulling away. Duke still looked like times in the fourth they were going to get into it, but it just didn't happen.
They couldn't get over the hump to momentum-wise, especially. They just couldn't do it.
They really couldn't. Duke actually finished that game with more yards than Illinois. That's what's funny.
That's crazy.
Duke had 438 yards. Illinois only had like 419. And also turnovers killed Duke. Duke had 5 turnovers. Illinois had 0. So what's funny though is I do like Duke again this week. They're down in Tulane.
Okay.
It's going to be the return of the quarterback who I told you that went there to Duke, who played at Tulane as a freshman. There's a couple different reasons why I like that, but we're not going to give that out today. But I would like to mention that I do like them. So the next game that we're going to review is Vanderbilt at Virginia Tech. That game ended 44-20 Vanderbilt. I tried telling them that this was the lock of the week, both in NCAA and in college. I mean, in the NFL for the weekend. They were down 20-10 at half. That's what's crazy. But the final score, like I said, ended 44-20. They won the second half 34-20. Diego and them boys came out, and once they got the lead, never looked back. What's also funny is Vanderbilt's down in South Carolina this weekend.
Oh, tough one.
Yeah. The line's 5.5. But guess what? I ain't scared of that. I'm going to probably take Vanderbilt on the money line again. But I'm not giving that out, and that might happen. And like I said on my Instagram, I only give straight point spread plays out. So chances are if I do give that out, it's going to be at the plus 5.5 on Instagram. But I wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
I almost previewed both games again, Duke and Vanderbilt. But I was like, man, I can't do that. I
Don't want to do it back-to-back weeks.
Teams, but I do love them. And if it makes the money, then why not? But I do have a feeling I like these two games I'm about to dive into in a little bit more. That's the good news. But
okay.
Just keep in mind, look out for them boys this weekend as well. Duke and Vanderbilt again to win and cover, which we will get a nice return on if you can put a parlay with both of them on the money line on. Now, the third game, this was the game that we needed to close out the 2-team parlay. That was Arizona at -6.5. They ended up doing it. They won 20-13. Arizona made me feel comfortable most of the time, but it seemed every time they were getting ready to roll away with the cover, man, they kept letting New Orleans back in the game. Arizona was up 20-10 with 6 minutes and 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter on the New Orleans 28. And then in that 1st and 10, quickly turned into 4th down, and then they ended up getting the field goal block. New Orleans came down, and guess what? They had 1st and goal on the 4-yard line with like 3 minutes and 13 seconds left. Thank God Arizona stopped them, bro, and held them to a field goal. Because chances were, if they got that touchdown, depending if they got
it would have got a little weird.
It was either going to be 5 or 3. Arizona would have probably tried to run out the clock at the most, you know what I mean? And the cover would have been very hard to get at that point. But somehow they stopped them there. But it didn't even stop there. They had ball 1st and 10 on Arizona at 18 right at the end of the game, and had 4 chances to try to get a touchdown. But thank God the Arizona defense bailed us out, and we got the cover there. So that brought in the 2-team parlay, which was very, very nice. And then the final game was Green Bay and Detroit. We had Green Bay -2.5 in that game. Detroit came out and looked like they didn't know what they were doing with the 2 different coordinators they had to introduce. They looked really shaky and slow. Green Bay did what they were supposed to do. And like I said, Green Bay was up 17-3 in the second quarter. And that was the halftime score. I tried to tell you I wouldn't be surprised if I looked up and it was 17-3 Green Bay in the second quarter on the podcast last week. And that's what it was. So I just wanted to put that out there, and it was a nice cover. And we went 3-1. So you can't really
75% for the
complain
week.
too bad with that. And that brings our total to 5-2 for the year. So
Okay,
I'm not mad
getting
at a
up there.
71.5%
Can't
mark
be.
through 2 weeks. Now, the first week we lost $100, but
Yes.
thank God Ty had some money stashed, and we were able to get a loan for $100 from Ty.
Yes,
You know
good
what I mean?
looks, Ty. Good
He
looks.
gave
Needed
us.
that.
We were able to put out these 2 nice plays because of it. The first one
Coming
didn't
when I
hit.
can.
Right. That man, don't worry. After the nice 4-0 weekend this weekend, Ty's going to get a nice bonus for that. But like I said, even on the first parlay we gave out didn't hit, I still feel like it was a nice parlay. It was Green Bay -2.5 at -110. Arizona -5.5 at -125. Duke +3.5 at -120. And Vanderbilt on the money line at -105. 25 would have brought back 290, but unfortunately we went 3 out of 4. But the 2-teamer hit. That was Vanderbilt on the money line at -105 and Arizona -6.5 at -110. $75 paid $204.55, which brought us to a grand total of $279.55. So we're officially profiting $79.55, starting with 100,
Round of applause
getting
for
down
that.
100, and
Yes.
now we're back up.
Yes.
And Ty's able to get his 100 back in
Making
the stash
moolah.
for right now. Now, we're going to get into the next segment. We're going to go ahead and dive into the deep dive.
Okay. Okay.
In the 4 games. My bad. My words are getting mixed up here.
All
And I'm
good.
getting so excited for these 4 games I'm about to hand out. I feel really good about them. The first game is Washington State at North Texas.
Okay.
Now, in North Texas, right now is favored by -6.5, but when we played this game, it was at -4.5. I'm gonna put that out there right now. And like I said, tonight's Wednesday night. When we put our plays together, it was Monday night. Now, Washington State has a completely new coaching staff and roster, and a lot of them are filled with North Dakota State players and assistants who followed their coach there. Them boys did go 14-2 last year in Division I AA football, but came up short of the of the Division I AA championship, which usually North Dakota State conquers. They rule Division I AA football. So if they come up short a little bit in there, they're still not up to par. But they did still do good. The coach did get a nice head coaching job at Washington State now. So we'll see how that pans out for him. Last year, Washington State was a top 20 offense and 16th in passing, but the quarterback bolted for Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
They only
Yeah.
have 3 returners on offense, which leaves them with a lot of mystery on offense. Now they have a little time to gel, which they did versus San Diego State last week, passing and won 36-13. So they had a little time to gel passing versus South Dakota. I mean, I got SDSU written down. That's why I keep saying South Dakota State, but San Diego State, my bad. But I wouldn't put too much into that victory because we know how bad San Diego State really is. I know they haven't improved from last year, and you remember how bad they were last year. Marquez played for them. We know better than anybody. We sat there and watched the game. He was the only player on offense they had.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
gone.
it was tough.
So, yeah, I don't think that was a big deal at all, getting that victory 36-13 versus them. Now, North Texas, on the other hand, was 3rd overall last year in total offense. Their quarterback last year did transfer to Virginia. The difference, though, why I trust this compared to the Washington State quarterback transferring is because the head coach of North Texas is in his 3rd year now, and he's only 39. He's young. He built that Incarnate Word program, and when he was real young, then transferred to Washington State and was offensive coordinator there. You know who came from Incarnate Word in Washington State? The number 1 overall selection last year, Cam Ward. And this coach is kind of responsible for building them. I would say. And now he's working with a freshman quarterback who is looking really good. He played in the bowl game last year and went 26 for 41 with 393 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first responder bowl. But in this year so far, he's 42 for 65 with 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So it's just safe to say that he might be special as well. You know what I mean?
I mean, those numbers do look good, sound good. So
this guy's a quarterback whisperer too. He knows how to get these quarterbacks going. You know what I mean? So,
that's important. That's important.
A couple other facts: there's 0 returning starters on the defense of Washington State, and that team ranked 124th last year in passing defense. Ooh. So this is not a good game at all for them to be in, especially with the quarterback, who I think's got a good system set in place for him to excel. And
yeah, that's bad.
Guess what, too? I see it's supposed to be around 95 degrees at game time in Texas. So there's no way the Washington State players are going to adapt.
They ready for all that humidity.
There's some players from California from there, but that's about it. Most players are from the north up in Washington State right now that are playing for him on the roster this year. And that's definitely going to affect them to try to keep up with this fast-paced North Texas team the deeper the game goes on.
For sure. For sure.
Now, another thing is, well, guess who Washington State plays next week?
They're going into conference play, aren't they?
No, because you got to remember, Washington State right now is currently in like the Pac-12, which, you know what I mean?
It's ending.
Right.
So
no, it's coming back. You know?
Oh yeah, they're realigning with like some of the Mountain West teams. My fault.
So with that
Boise
said, guess who Washington State's playing?
Wait, they're gonna realign?
Next
well,
week.
they're taking teams from the Mountain West to keep the Pac-12 alive.
Yeah, a couple of them.
So it's like Boise State's coming over.
So it's like when Maryland left the ACC with the Big East,
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
But the only difference is, the Big Ten didn't have all of its main counterparts leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the only true teams I think that stayed was Washington State. Washington
State and Oregon State.
The two teams
but with
that are like backyard
who do
for
you
each
think
other.
Washington State's playing next week then?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say Oregon State since you just
Close.
said it. Damn it.
I can see, but no, they're playing Washington. It's the Apple Cup in the following week. So this is definitely a look-ahead game. You know what I mean? They're going to already be thinking about that in-state rivalry taking place at home next week when they have to take on the Huskies in the great, prestigious Apple Cup. But overall, I could see this game being close early, but I feel North Texas will get stops. Washington State can't. Mainly because I feel it's going to be a shootout, and I feel North Texas has the upper hand in the game because of the coach and the QB in this type of game scenario. You know what I mean? For the shootout and what's coming up, just for them to keep rolling on. I feel like midway through the third quarter, North Texas will be ahead at least 2 possessions, and you will see North Texas continue to pull away while Washington State gets wore down because of the weather. In the fast-paced style, they will already be thinking about the Apple Cup by the start of the fourth quarter, and I feel North Texas should cover comfortably and win by at least 2 possessions.
Okay.
So that's going to be the first play that we're trying to get that deep dive into. Now, the second play is Appalachian State at Southern Miss. Man, this is probably shitball at its finest, it appears. But at the end of the day, it might not be as shitty as you think it is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
First off, App State as a first-year coach with no prior head coaching experience at QB, they have my bad. Damn. Oh, they have the old Vanderbilt quarterback who was there before Diego took over. Yeah, and they have a former running back from Arkansas. Both look great in their first 2 games, but it was against Charlotte, which isn't too bad, but the other one was against Lindenwood.
Okay.
You know Lindenwood?
No.
Yeah, they went like 5-6 or 5-7 in Division I AA last year.
Okay.
I'm surprised they're playing Division I teams in football. But with that said, the disturbing thing is they only beat Lindenwood by a touchdown and had 4 turnovers versus Lindenwood.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so Appalachian State was struggling. Now, first off, I'll let you know Southern Miss didn't win a game against a Division I opponent last year. Not only didn't they win a game, they didn't even come within single digits of any of those.
And they got blown up by more than 2 possessions every game.
Yeah. 2
Sheesh.
double digits at least. But yeah, it was about 2 possessions. Like maybe even by more than 14. I didn't
That's
really
crazy.
get the lowest number. But with that said, the only win that they had came against Southeast Louisiana, who's a Division I AA team. But now they have a defending Sun Belt Coach of the Year from Marshall, along with the Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year at quarterback, who was also the Sun Belt Championship MVP in the Sun Belt Championship game last year, which is wild that you would go from a team that didn't win a Division I game, let alone finish last place in the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Now you came from a team who went to the Sun Belt Championship. So you went from best to worst, including the quarterback. We don't see that too often, if ever. But with that said, their defense at Marshall ranked 30. That's where they came from, the coach and the quarterback. But the defense at Marshall ranked 37th in passing defense. So their offense and defense is 10 times better than what they're going to be, I feel. Okay. Southern Miss this year than what they were last year, just by having this Marshall coach, the Marshall quarterback, and they also have a few other transfers from Marshall coming in as well, who, like I said, had a strong defense. And Southern Miss, believe it or not, didn't have the worst secondary last year without these people. But I wouldn't even be surprised if Southern Miss was like a Sun Belt sleeper this year. Not only that, they played Mississippi State the first week of the season, and the score, I believe, was I think it was 17-10 or 13-10 at halftime. I'm sorry, I thought I had that right there. But either way, they were down a possession basically to Mississippi State at the half. That's pretty good. So I think they're already a lot improved than what they were last year, and they showed evidence of it so far in these 2 really short span of games.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Last year, App State was also ranked 124th in turnovers last year. Okay, and like I said, they already had 4 against Lindenwood and 1 against Charlotte. They're already -1 this year because of that. All right. Southern Miss quarterback and coach tied 13th in nation. Oh, my bad. Hold on. I'm sorry. The Southern Miss quarterback and the coach were tied for 13th in the nation last year at Marshall in turnovers. So you're going from the 13th best system basically to a team who finished 124th. So turnover wise, Southern Miss is looking good in this game. And App State looks like they're going to turn it over in this game like they've been doing. And like I said, Southern Miss is already at a +2 turnover differential this season, and Appalachian State is -1. So that's going to play a huge role. App State also only won 1 away game last year. So even though they haven't won a Division I game, Southern Miss, App State only won 1 game by 2 points at ECU last year. So they definitely struggle on the road. So for this game, I don't have a great vision of like how it's going to go exactly and what the exact score is going to be. But I know Southern Miss has the better coach. I think they have the better quarterback. I would say the defense is a little even, but this game is going to come down to coaching and ball security, which I feel Southern Miss has that advantage in big time. So Southern Miss also has a good culture, and that place should be rocking that night. Even though I think they play in the daytime, I'm sorry. But it should be rocking that day. Enjoy watching the and they're going to be enjoying watching their Golden Eagles pick up their first win since November 9th, 2023 against Louisiana, 34-31
That
in
is
overtime.
crazy.
So that's a stretch, but it's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Hey, yo.
App State road trouble will show up this game big time. They did win in Charlotte this year already, but the game wasn't in Charlotte's home stadium. It was in Ty's favorite stadium in the world, Bank of America Stadium, where the Panthers play.
The best field ever, yo.
Ever?
Wow.
Have you been there?
Oh, yeah, Ty did go there.
I've been there.
I haven't been there. I
I've
don't
been
know
there.
about best ever. But
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got it.
It's better than Northwest Stadium.
I don't know.
I mean,
that shit was shitty when it was FedEx, and I don't know if they made crazy upgrades. I haven't been there since. But
That's why they trying to go somewhere else.
I guess.
listen, I'll take a bad stadium for a good team.
So back in 2015, we had the best.
Cam, that was almost 10 years. That was 10 years ago. There's some people that wasn't even born when that happened.
I feel like a Dallas fan. I'm living in the past.
Yeah, the Lulu.
Wow. Damn.
Bryce needs some help, yo. The line ain't
Yeah, the
protecting
whole
him.
team needs some help.
What, in Dallas?
No,
Oh,
Carolina.
Carolina? Yeah,
Yeah.
both y'all need help. But with that said, like I said, the game wasn't officially in Charlotte. It was actually at Ty's favorite stadium. So that's really considered a neutral game. So we can't consider
We got to get
that
rid of
one.
that neutral term thing if the team is playing within their same state. Like
App State was playing in their same state too. That's where they're from,
they're from Carolina too. That's wild.
of course. But with that said, we're gonna go with Southern Miss to win their first Division I game in more than a year.
Crazy.
It's gonna happen. Don't get scared. The line when I first looked at it was pretty much. I think it was sitting at even. It might have been. I think I saw Appalachian State -1.5. I think I even saw it go to Southern Miss to -1.5. But when I just saw it, it was back to Appalachian State up to 2.5. But it's not scaring me at all.
That's not too bad. It's a little baby jump.
Right. But I'm going to go with them. So those are the two college football locks of the weekend right
Lock
there.
it in. Lock it
So
in.
make sure you get down with it. Now, the two NFL games that we're going to preview, remember, we're perfect on the show so far through week 1, 2-0 with both of our NFL selections. So hopefully we keep it rolling right now. With that said, the first game we're going to dive into is Seattle or Pittsburgh. Right now, I believe the line's sitting at Pittsburgh -2.5. Now, we're working with Sam Darnold, who's not my favorite quarterback by no stretches of the means for Seattle, but there's no question that he can move the ball.
Yeah.
Last year, he finished 5th in passing in the NFL. Also, for Seattle, Mike McDonald also had a very impressive year, leading Seattle to 10 wins. Even though they had Geno, who's nasty as hell, he finished like number 4 in the NFL in passing last year and went off last weekend. And but I feel Mike should feel way more comfortable in his second year. So they definitely should build and grow from what they already were, in my opinion. They ranked, I believe, 14th in total offense last year and 8th in passing. I feel Sam Darnold will improve that by at least a few rankings. I also like the running back, Walker III. And with him healthy, I feel like they're a different animal. Their other running back is decent as well. He's been going off. But I would say Seattle's strength should be their defense, mainly because their head coach is a former defensive coordinator. And I'm not saying their defense is more talented than their offense, but they have that defensive mindset. So it should be strong for them. They finished 14th in total defense last year, 11th in passing, 16th in rushing, and 12th in scoring, which all should improve in my opinion. Pittsburgh now has A-Rod, as we saw, who looked great last week versus
He
the
did.
Jets.
He did.
He went 22 for 30 with 244 yards and 4 touchdowns, but their leading rusher only had 37 yards. That's my biggest concern for Pittsburgh is their rushing game.
Yeah.
They lost Najee Harris to the Chargers. Warren and him combined it for 7 touchdowns last year rushing, but Warren only contributed to 1 of those. Fields and Wilson contributed to a few, but I don't know how mobile A-Rod is back there.
Not very.
Not like Fields and Wilson were, so not anymore at least. Maybe at one point he was close to maybe how mobile Wilson was, but I don't feel like that no more. So I feel like this could lead to potential red zone trouble for them a lot, not only this game, but for the whole year. Now, they did add Kenneth Gainwell. Guess how many rushing touchdowns he had last year?
8.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I might not be showing the right graphics right now. Yeah, the second game's the right game. The first game's not. My bad. That was another game I kind of like. I don't know why I sent you that. That is weird. That's a huge mistake. I must have hit the wrong game for that. Yeah, so.
Because I'm sitting there like, wait, this ain't
what he talking about.
My apologies for that. So, yeah, that graphics wrong.
What y'all are seeing on the screen is slightly incorrect.
Yeah, but
tune in. Make sure y'all are listening.
But the Seattle play is far from incorrect. This play is going to be good. Trust me. But my bad. Right where I left off, I said another important factor to think about, in my opinion, though, is the potential hangover for Aaron Rodgers in this game. He went up against the Jets last week, and he said it himself. You know, he loved beating everybody associated with that organization. So you know he went all out to get that win. So he might come out a little flat, in my opinion, this game.
Very possible.
So, I don't know if I would count on him to be having the same game he had last week, especially versus Seattle secondary, who I think is a little bit better than the Jets, if not much better. So overall, I see Seattle coming out here throwing all over Pittsburgh, while A-Rod and the running back start out a little flat. I feel Seattle will be able to build a lead similar to what the Jets did, but not blow it. I feel the run game will pick up a bit after the passing game exposes Pittsburgh's weak secondary. Pittsburgh will struggle to score touchdowns in the red zone, and the final score should be around Seattle 24-13. So, yeah. And I think I forgot to mention, I was trying to get into it. Pittsburgh's passing defense finished like 25th last year, and Justin Fields was exposing them last week. So I feel like if Justin Fields can expose them, then Sam Darnold can definitely expose them as well. So I feel like Seattle definitely should come out with the victory in this game and cover that, maybe buy it up to 3.5 even, just to be safe, because it's at 2.5 right now. So
why didn't we get this version of Sam Darnold in Carolina?
What about the Jets? Because y'all don't let – not y'all, but I think the main problem is teams don't let quarterbacks grow no more. They like try to use them when they're like
kind of broken,
1st to 3 years in the league. Back in the day, you didn't even use the quarterback even if he was nice until like the 3rd year at least, maybe the 2nd. But they rush quarterbacks too much, and then quarterbacks get comfortable, turn in what they were, and now they're out of your organization.
Yeah,
I do think that's the main problem with that. Plus, to be honest, Sam
crazy now.
Darnold doesn't have the best IQ. And if he was that great, I feel like Minnesota would have kept him and signed him to a huge deal. You know, he's like Kirk Cousins. Like, they put up good stats, but
they're not
when you got to rely on them, man, I don't know if like I said, when I began it, like, I don't really like Sam Darnold. Remember, I said that off the bat. Like, I don't really trust him, but there's no doubt he can move the ball. So, But I do know what you mean, Ty. It does look like 100% new QB than he was for the Jets or for Carolina. So I do feel bad for those fans. Y'all invested a lot in them. Maybe not Carolina. I don't know how much they really put into them, but the Jets wasted a good.
Like a season or two.
Yeah.
But I don't even think he did 2 seasons. He did 1 season in Carolina. He did 1 season in what was it, the Jets. Then he went over to no, not the Jets.
He did more than 1 season at the Jets, I think.
Did he?
I don't know. But regardless, he's much better than what.
So he did 1 in Carolina and 1 in Minnesota.
He did 2.
In Minnesota?
Was it 1 or 2?
Kirk Cousins been gone 2 years now? 3?
Ooh. You about Sam Darnold?
No, that's what I was saying. When did Kirk Cousins leave? He played your team.
Kirk Cousins ain't played for us.
He played for Atlanta, so he played the Panthers. So I was like,
I don't keep up with them. Don't keep up with them teams. I don't care.
Man said he don't keep up with his divisional rivals. Those are
I
the 3 other records, teams you're supposed to keep up
but
with.
They quarterback, I give a who their quarterback is.
I guess.
I just worry about mine.
Right.
And
I feel you.
Kirk is.
I know all the quarterbacks in my division, though.
Actually, I know all the ones in your division, too.
We usually have some good quarterbacks in the NFC East, though.
Yeah. I mean, I do.
High profile.
I know all the quarterbacks in my division, but I ain't
y'all got some bum-ass QBs lately, though, in that division. For real.
Bums.
Y'all rotating like shit with every team in that division a lot. You know what I mean? There's not really a stable quarterback in the NFC South, unless I'm tripping and can't think.
I mean, outside of when like Drew Brees was on the Saints.
Nah, I mean like in the past like 4 to 5 years.
No, it's been crazy.
The Saints got
they got Spencer Rattler for the Saints.
I'm tripping.
Right
in the
now.
AFC.
And then you got Baker Mayfield down in the Bucks.
Yeah,
Baker's nice. He's the
and Atlanta's got Penix.
Yeah,
but that's only the 2 years. Basically, they had Kirk Cousins the year before that.
Yeah.
But they do got some weird QBs down there. But with that said,
that's his Bryce.
We're going to dive into this final game. Okay. It's going to be another NFL game, of course. It's going to be New England at Miami. Right now, I seen Miami was favored by 1.5 when I looked at it earlier today. Now, Miami has some key departures. They lost Calais Campbell, the DN, Javon Holland, the safety, and Teron Armstead, an offensive tackle. So this leaves significant gaps to fill. The offensive line remains a significant concern all around as well.
They've always been a concern since Tua's been in the league.
Their offense overall was in the bottom half of the league in total offense, rush offense, and pass offense. Tua was beat up and overall had a down year. Same with Tyreek. The running back also regressed. After rushing for 800 yards in 11 games as a rookie, last year he played in 17 games. Did rush for 900 yards, but that's only 100 more yards.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
100 more carries. I would say he regressed. And with the line in with the offensive line in question, I could see the pass game in the rush game even getting weaker. And there was proof of that last week while Tua looked awful. Their top rusher only had 50-something yards, and then he put up 8 points versus a Colts defense that finished 28th in total defense last year. That's terrible. And the hiring of Mike Vrabel, how you say his name over there? Vrabel. I always forgot to say his name. Mike Vrabel is seen as a major boost with his defensive expertise and coaching ability overall. I also feel the veteran presence they have there, especially like the receiving core in their tight end who are all like in their 30s plus. They have one receiver that's kind of young, maybe 2 that are like in their mid-20s, but they got Diggs there. And I forget the tight end's name, but he's 30. Hunter Harvey, I believe. Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to make Drake grow, and especially with Vrabel now. Because I know they were dead last, I think, last year in passing. But this year, I feel also they have more like of a range. Not that they're going to run necessarily more, but since they have a defensive-minded coach, it's going to add to their run game. Because usually defensive-minded coaches
like to run the ball.
Yeah, because they like to get time of possession down a little bit more better, which helps their D, and overall it creates May to take less pressure off of him. Exactly. So I think that's going to help them with, like I said, possession and less turnovers this year for New England, which has definitely been bad for them the past few years. Now, last week, even though they lost to Vegas, May threw for his career high. He threw for 280 something yards. That was his most ever yards. So I think it was 287. So I feel already there's evidence of him getting better. You know what I mean? Vegas also finished in the top half overall last year in passing defense. So it's not like he did it versus a bum-ass defense. Not only that, it was like a one-possession game. So it's not like he did it in a blowout and was like coming back and racking up yards. He was doing it in some pretty high-pressure situations.
And important situations, yeah.
So I feel comfortable with him in this game. And not only that, New England was up 10-7 at half last week versus Vegas. So even though they lost, it was a game halftime. They were even up. It could have went a different way. But that boy Geno Smith went off. I mean, he went off. But we don't got to worry about Tua doing things like that. So overall, these two teams who look like they are heading in these two teams look like they're heading in two complete opposite directions.
Facts.
One looks like they're prepared to improve and maybe have a decent, if not good season. Mm-hmm. And one looks like they're a complete shit show and like circus act. And it's getting weird down there for many reasons.
Yeah, man.
The head coach, in my opinion, is also going to get fired any day now, basically. So he's playing with a lot of pressure. I'm sure the home fans are not liking him too much. So he's going to get no support there either. So not only are they struggling on the field, they're struggling off the field. Right now, I don't know who they would be going into this week. I might like any team, even Ty's Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, I think Carolina would get a good one versus them this week. That's how bad they look right now. So they let Daniel Jones almost throw for 300 yards.
Yeah, that's bad.
It was crazy.
That's really bad.
So I don't see why May wouldn't do the same exact thing, to be honest. So if he did it versus Vegas last week, he can definitely do it against this struggling Miami team.
Yeah.
So with that said, I see New England winning in a low scoring game, maybe like 17-10, maybe 20-14 type game. Could even get worse if Miami just quits. Because they could just quit on that, man. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. I've seen teams do it, especially when they're ready for the coach to go. And I feel like that's one of those games versus a really, I feel like a dark horse possibly in New England. Not only that, I feel like they're definitely going to get the job done this week and put in work. So we're done with those 4 games. Okay. Those were the 2 NFL games at the end. Once again, we hope to keep the perfect record. We went 2-0 last week, so hopefully we keep rolling with that. And we're going to get into the TJ's favorite part, and I hope many of y'all's favorite part, the future bet section.
Future bet!
You already know. So we were able to give Ty his 100 back, like I said, in his stash. So now we got $179.55 to work with. Once again, that's $179.55. So we did 3 parlays this week. Okay. The first parlay we're handing out is a 4-team parlay. That's going to be New England on the money line at plus 114, Seattle on the money line at plus 120, North Texas minus 4.5 at minus 115, and Southern Miss minus 110 on the money line. $20 brings you back $316 profit-wise. Then we did another parlay that's a 2-team parlay. We're going with Seattle money line at plus 120 with North Texas at minus 4.5 at minus 115. $50, profits $155.
Bless you, Ty.
Now with the final 2-team parlay we're going to hand out, these are the 2 locks of the week we're going with. The first is going to be Southern Miss at minus 110 on the money line. And then the next game to go with to cap off the 2-teamer is going to be the Patriots money line at plus 114. $100 profits you $308. I have a feeling we're going to have a perfect 4-0 week.
Let's do it.
We're really going to be sitting on some good money going into week 4 of NCAA. in week 3 of the NFL. But you never know. Ty might have to let us hold another $90.45 next week. Hopefully not, though. Now, one thing I do want to shout out real quick is a couple more games that I have my eyes on for this weekend. The first is Friday night, Houston -4.5. I'm kind of looking at that. Saturday, Georgia Tech +3.5. Okay. I saw that line start out at 9, Clemson -9. It's all the way down to Georgia Tech +3.5. You know, we said Georgia Tech could be the sleeper of the ACC.
Yes.
It's making me feel stronger about it. This game would go a long way. So I got my eyes on this game big time. Another game's Alabama -20.5. They might bounce back versus a beat-up Wisconsin team. Then Troy +3.5. That line was at 5.5 when I was first looking at it on Sunday against Memphis. But I see it went down to 3.5 now, and I was already liking it when it was 5.5, and I have a feeling it's coming down for a reason. So I'll look out for that Troy game. Tennessee's kind of like that Georgia Tech game. On Monday, I saw that at 7.5. Georgia was favored. Now it's down to 3.5. Georgia's -3.5. I got my eyes all over Tennessee. And like I said in the beginning, I almost had to give out Vanderbilt +5.5 and then Duke at +1.5, who's currently -1.5 now. So definitely keep your eyes on Vanderbilt and
Good
Duke.
stuff.
I can almost guarantee those last 2 ones are going to be official plays on Saturday. But like I said, you definitely got to follow the Instagram to get these plays to make sure that they're official. So go ahead and do that if you can. And then 3 NFL games to also look out for are Jacksonville +3.5. Ty said I put that up by accident versus Cincinnati. That's how you know I was kind of on
He was looking at it.
It was kind of like how I put the Jets up versus Pittsburgh last week. But that was on purpose, and I changed that last minute. But the Jets did cover for us because we were going to put them at 3.5. Yeah, so... yeah, that would have went well too, but we only give out 2 games, so we went 2-0, so it didn't hurt us at all. Plus, you know what? It wasn't going to be our main lock. I was never going to put them on the money line in that, so the +3.5 would have been golden now I think about it. But regardless, like I said, we went 2-0. You can't complain. But what's weird, the next game I kind of got my eyes on are them New Orleans Saints and Spencer Rattler at +3.5.
No.
Yeah.
Not the Rattler.
I'm almost here. Got almost stay away. But that line keeps dropping. They play San Francisco. I don't really understand that. And then it's just a weird, it's almost like they're telling me to take this thing. So, you know what I mean?
That is weird.
I got to study that game way more.
The Saints didn't look that great in their game last week. They looked okay. I'll say that, but they didn't look like
at the same time.
Rattler,
I got to give him respect. We were shitting on Rattler. He actually put up a fight. He did. Yeah, I'll give him that. He put up a fight compared to what I thought he was going to do. He was still really not in the game most of it, but towards the end he was freaking me out. But of course he didn't pull it off. So. Yeah. But man, he might pull it off next week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Never know.
This is what I think about Rattler.
Wow.
That might be what he's hearing by midway through the year when Slough, the Louisville quarterback. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. It's like Slough. But yeah, the Louisville quarterback last year, man, he might come in midway through the season and like Ty was just playing, he might be hearing crickets in the locker room when he hears the news. And the final game that I kind of got my eyes on is Buffalo -6.5. They play the Jets at New York. I know the Jets kind of looked good last week, but that was a devastating loss for real. They can say they're proud of that loss, but I know that loss hurt. They should have won, and they got that game took. And bouncing back versus Buffalo after Buffalo just did the amazing stuff they just did and ruined a perfect weekend because, like I said, I'm 2-1. I have Baltimore -1.5 to try to go 3-0 for the Instagram picks. And that's why you don't bet against Josh Allen. I was just telling TJ that. Don't bet against. He could be the GOAT, even though he don't got one Super Bowl. Man, he does things I never seen. Yes, but with that said, I feel like he's going to torch that Jets D as well.
Yeah,
and that Buffalo team's going to be more than excited to come out against that division game and prove themselves. Not really prove themselves, but just make a statement more or less. So, yeah, check me out on Sunday to see if I give out those games. And what you think about tomorrow? Or, yeah, what do you think about tomorrow's game?
Tomorrow night, we got the Commanders versus Green Bay in Green Bay.
Yes, sir. You think we're going to get the dub?
I do. I do think we're getting the dub. I think it's going to be a tough fought game, but I think we're going to pull it off in the end.
That game right now is Green Bay -3.5. I'm a little scared of it personally, especially because it's short week coming in there on a Thursday. But I will tell you this. Everybody on TV I see is picking Green Bay.
Good.
And it's
exactly how we like it.
Everybody I see.
Good.
That is good because I think it's probably not going to be an official play. I'm probably not going to give the Commanders out tomorrow, but I will be probably taking them personally for something because I feel good about it. I might be biased though a little bit.
Just a little
that's
bit.
why I don't know. I'm feeling that, so I'm going to stay away from it, especially on the short week down in Lambeau. And I felt good about Green Bay last week. That's
hey man, the good thing is let's not act like they don't have a short week too. You feel me?
Yeah, but.
Yes, their short week, they get to stay at home, they get to sleep in, eat some home cooking, you know. But hey, at the end of the day, they're human beings. We human beings. We all got to hit that gridiron and get it done. You know? That's that.
And they might have more of a little of a hangover thinking they did something beating that Detroit team, you know.
I mean, I'll give it to them. They did a little something. Detroit was nasty last year.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act like they wasn't the number 2 team in the NFC.
But they lost some key pieces like I was telling you. And of all, they lost them coordinators, and they look lost without them last week. So we'll see how fast they adjust. Luckily, they play Chicago this week, and that line's like 5.5. And I was kind of freaking out at first. It was low, and that was before I saw Chicago play Monday night. But after I saw what Chicago looked like, and I know you can't freak out over a 1 week reaction, but this isn't a 1 week reaction. This is going back to last year and Caleb Williams, and I'm seeing the same type of Caleb, and I'll leave it at that. So there's no way I could trust the Bears. You know what I mean? There's just no way.
This guy here.
So I think Detroit might look a little better than they really are this week, potentially. But then again, they could lose this game outright as well. So I wouldn't touch that game with, as like people say, 100-foot pool. So yeah, that's just gonna be a game to kind of study and see how both teams really
do in the future, so you know how to play against it.
Yeah, but then again, I probably won't watch 1 minute of that game. I might look at the highlights. That's about it.
I feel you.
Because I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, so definitely check me out rest of the week. And like that, and that's all we have for the day, basically. Once again, follow my Instagram, Best Picks on DMV. Facebook, same name, Best Picks in DMV. If you need to ask any questions, email me at bestpicksindmv@yahoo.com or message me on either social media platform, as I said before. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, or follow. And if you want to, make sure you comment on the YouTube. If you want, even negative stuff, if you wanted to say something. So go ahead and do what you do. And one last reminder, all the official plays are handed out on Instagram.
Yes,
Ty, any last words?
Thank y'all for joining. We will be coming to TikTok soon. So, and do the shows on there. You know what I mean? So when we do, send gifts, you know, come in the room, interact, you know. But it'll be streamed on both VMN and on TikTok.
Okay.
Just trying to wait for the approval from that side. So
lovely. Can't wait for that.
Get some more. You gotta wait for the feedback and all that from them.
Nah, it's some more things I gotta like. You gotta have like 1,000 followers.
Oh, right.
On that.
You got to meet some requirements.
I got requirements. I'm almost there. So.
Okay, well, hey, with that being said, make sure y'all go follow Virtual Media Network, VMN, on TikTok. Like my man Gabe said, Follow him at Best Picks in DMV on Instagram, on Facebook. Follow, like, and subscribe. Best Picks in the DMV podcast on YouTube. Shout out Virtual Media Network again for the production.
Yes, sir.
My name is TJ. Ty's on the ones and twos. His name is Gabe. And we out, y'all. Peace. Love.